Witnesses are not here, but they all wrote to you. Can I introduce the letter so the jury can see, can read, and can hear what happened? The prosecutor objected, and the judge agreed, and it was denied. Transcript page 789. The letters were written directly to the judge, stamped by the judge. School principal. Not once, not twice. Letter after letter from the aunt, stamped by the judge, read by the judge, all concerning the abuse on the boys by David Rice. Letters from the landlord, stamped by the judge, read by the judge. But he did not want the jury to see these letters because there would have been no trial. Because the prosecutors, all of them, the four of them, and the judge, knew what subordination to perjury meant, and that's what they were doing. They were protecting David Rice, a convicted, a known violent repeat child molester, in order to convict an innocent person because they were determined. The HRS had determined that I was the abuser and they were going to get me. I called the lady in charge, Becky Young. She took the stand and I said to her, I said, can you tell the jury what kind of question you asked David Rice concerning sexual abuse on the boys? Her response was on page 626 and 627. It was, I never asked him any question. There was no need for it. There was never any allegations. No allegations. I asked her again, what did you ask David Rice? Okay, ma'am, how many times did you ask David Rice about child abuse, sex abuse? Okay, how many times did you ask him? I didn't, okay? She never even asked one question of David Rice. There was no need. They had their child molester. They had the father. The judge knew she was a perjured witness because her report on page 1 of the 34-page report and on page 2 of the 4 pages they gave me, the summary, states clearly that it is alleged that David Rice had committed sexual misconduct on the boys, had performed oral sex and had held a gun to their head. And she denies under oath in front of 3 prosecutors and the state attorney and a judge. They all know she's perjuring herself. Subordination to perjury. But it's okay. It's okay. And she walked away clear and having nothing to work with. One more time I asked the judge. I said, Your Honor, I have nothing to work with. I've paid a psychologist. I've asked you before trial, in a pretrial hearing, to allow him to evaluate my boy, to show the jury that he cannot testify. And you denied it. I've asked you again during the trial, and you denied it again. Now it's the end of the trial, and I'm asking you again, allow my psychologist to evaluate the boy. His response was, no, sir. It should have been done before trial. You can get an idea of what it looks like in a courtroom such as this one, from 1029 to 1353. I didn't have much of a choice. They were going to call the boys now. The boys were going to testify. I don't know what it's going to be. It's a surprise box. I can't wait. The state of Florida called its key witness, my son, Tristan Unick, age 10. Tristan took the stand, and when he was asked by the prosecutor, Patrick Canaan, to describe to the jury what had happened to him, Tristan stated that his father got him to like to drink vodka, got him drunk, got him so drunk that he couldn't see straight, according to what he testified on page 865, 66, and 67 of the transcript. He said he got so drunk that when his dad asked him to lay down, he did. And when asked what his dad had done to him, he stated that his dad had screwed him in the butt. The prosecutor asked him, "Where'd you learn these words?" Well, he says, "On TV you learn a lot of stuff you're not supposed to," he says. I didn't say anything. We're talking about capital sexual battery now. This is serious. So I decided I was going to wait to see what his brother would come up with. But in the meantime, since I had no psychological evaluation, in order to convict somebody, you got to have reliable testimony. So I wanted to show the jury that his testimony was not too reliable. So I asked him if he remembered the day we left Rockport aboard our sailboat, like the mother had testified. We left April 1981. He would have been 8 months old. And I said, "Tristan, I know you have a good memory. Can you tell the jury if you remember the trip on the sailboat?" "Of course." "Tell them how it was in there." So he described the seats and the things in the boat. He even described the clothes he was wearing. Hosh gosh by gosh. Described the size of fish we were catching. And even described the 3 languages, French, English, and Spanish, that he says his father was teaching him. He started to speak Spanish for the jury. He was real proud. He was very happy to perform, to the point where the judge had to stop him. So I figured I had done enough. I didn't think I needed to hound him anymore. So his brother took the stand. Christopher took the stand. And he was asked to describe to the jury what happened to him in 1985 when he was 1 year, 10 months old on the boat. And Christopher stated that his father had screwed him in the butt. He was asked where. He didn't know. Did it hurt? He didn't know. How long did it last? An hour? 15 minutes? 5 minutes? Seconds? Seconds probably. And that's all he could remember. The prosecutor, in order to, that's on page 945 and 54. The prosecutor, in order to demonstrate to the jury the extent of hatred the boys had for their father, this child molester, he asked Christopher if he remembered having drawn some pictures in order to show how he felt about his father. And he said, "Yes, I remember," on transcript page 950. Now we're talking about a 7-year-old boy, grade 1, who has trouble writing love letters to his dad. His mother has to help him. And here's what the prosecutor introduced to the jury to show the extent of the hatred.